Good morning to one and all. I am Anson Phillip, aka Christ Am Disciple, and we're going to have a discussion on whether restore the Snyderverse is possible, given the decisions and the direction that Warner Brothers Discovery is going in. Feel free to join me in the studio. The link is in the chat, or you can chop it up with me in the chat. Either way, it's good. I'm having some lunch. It's lunchtime. Some people say, Anson, why do you sit on the ground all the time? I tell them I like to be grounded. No, I just like sitting on the floor. Okay, so we're going to talk about this because it's going to get interesting. So we know the direction Warner Brothers Discovery is going in right now. It's the same direction that we're going in the previous regime. They continue to go the same direction. The promise for them, the payoff, which is very far in the future, is a crossover movie with the MCU. And in theory, that is a nice thing. In theory. But the reality of the situation is the direction that they're going is diametrically opposed to what the audience that they're trying to put this content out to wants. Now, let me be a reasonable, rational person here. Not everything you want needs to come to pass. As fans, we're just fans. You know, we're fans. So, hi, Leroy. Oh, Leroy Kong says, hello to you. I'm at work. Great live. Black Adam is a great movie. Okay. Good to hear you're a fan of Black Adam. Nothing wrong with that. So what we want as fans fans wanted the Dark Knight trilogy to continue. They wanted Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale to continue. They wanted Christian Bale's Batman, right? That just shows the love fans have for a given director and a given set of movies. Excuse me. And their appreciation for it. So I'm not saying that the studio has to continue with what we're saying to do. Not saying that at all. But where do you put in the head of DC, James Gunn, puts out Dawn of Nope, and the head of Warner Brothers laughs at that joke and says, you know, all your jokes are funny, James Gunn. James Gunn says, all? And he says, well, not all. It can be taken one of two ways. It could be taken, they know what they're doing in the background, and they're just, you know, teasing us. Or it can be looked at as straight up punk. They're punking us. Either way, whether they're teasing us or punking us, they feel they're in control. And that's sad. Because they know what we want. But they're deciding we're going a different direction. They've done this forever. Studios have been doing this. Shout out to Leroy Kong, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. They've been doing this for a very long time. I remember when Michael Keaton and Tim Burton did the Batman, then they did the Batman Returns. They did the very same thing. They removed Burton and Keaton from the project, and they started with Schumacher. The same rhetoric. This is not something new. These executives do. They're always going towards trying to make a family-friendly movie or a movie that's light, with jokes. They want that for DC. For some reason, these executives constantly, the spiel you have to sell to them. No, this is not epic. No, this is not serious. No, this is not an adult movie because comics are for kids. We want a movie that can sell toys. And it always backfires. This happened with Superman, with David Donner. This happened with Batman, with Tim Burton. And now it's happened with Zack Snyder. Launched the universe very well. Movies were making money. No, this is not what we want. What we want is movies that can sell toys. We need some jokes in there. I don't care. You can throw a couple F-bombs, no problem, but jokes. And Leroy Kong just said Black Adam now surpasses Shazam. The DCO now has the 9th highest grossing franchise. Okay. How much did it rake in over the weekend? Enjoy my lunch. So, Warner Brothers has been doing this for a while. That's not the new stuff. Obviously, they're doubling down on the universe they want to have. And like I said before, they are moving in a direction that's away from Restore the Snyderverse. Okay? But they must have forgotten the 1.5 million tweets, the call from celebrities to actors to people who were in their movies, to even up to recently, yesterday, I saw another celebrity calling for Restore the Snyderverse and for bringing back Zack Snyder. Leroy Kong again. I want the actual numbers, though. Tell me the numbers for Black Adam. I haven't been following it. said Black Adam is better than Wakanda Forever, which is saying absolutely nothing, though. I'm not interested in Marvel. You're interested in Marvel. I'm a DC guy. I haven't even been thinking about Wakanda Forever. To be honest with you, Leroy. Okay, you're an MCU DC guy. I'm not. I'm a DC guy. You know. So we're 10 minutes in already. This is a slow burn. The way. Oh, by the way, Rebel Moon, man, we got a little bit of Rebel Moon reviews, which was great. Also, Leroy, this is a cool thing I want to talk about. Avatar: The Way of Water is coming out at the end of this year. Are you going to go see it? I think I will. Definitely. That's a day one movie. James Cameron. That's my kind of stuff, y'all. That's the kind of movies I like. I like comedy, but I don't like it too much. I'm not one of those guys. And don't get me wrong, I can enjoy a movie even though it's near garbage. Okay. So what they're hoping is that there be peace between Marvel and DC fans. Okay. Oh, that was good. Thank you, Jesus. There'd be peace between Marvel and DC fans, and James Gunn would be able to facilitate that. And that more Marvel fans would be interested in DC. I got something to tell people, though. I don't understand these executives, but I do. Lyra Khan says Avatar: The Way of Water will not be as good as Black Adam. We haven't seen it yet, so I won't say that. I want to say this. Marvel fans have already been interested in DC, and it started, I believe, with the Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad. Highly anticipated film. It didn't come out the way it was supposed to, but still. So we had Marvel fans going into the cinema and watching that movie on rerun. Wonder Woman started getting Marvel fans interested in DC. Okay. Unfortunately for DC, Batman v Superman was a war. It was a war between that movie and Civil War that was there. And I was one of the people pushing back, which is why Batman v Superman is such a loved movie today. I pushed back on that surge. I did all kinds of things. I had people coming out the cinema saying their true feelings about Batman v Superman. Some people were angry that Superman died. Some people were like, they didn't know what to make of the movie. Some people were like, wow, so much to process. You know, some people came out and was like, hey man, that was a good movie. Some people were angry Batman was killing. So you had varied emotions by people coming out the cinema. But on average, the people who I interviewed coming out the cinema, both online and offline, score Batman v Superman, strangely enough, a 7 out of 10. And
most of the people who I spoke with and had conversations with. There's another, there's a Duck Mill or something like that. Duck Mill. She's a Christian lady, and she goes through the critical reception bit by bit, each critique on her channel. And you see the critiques are all of comparing it to Marvel. They're just comparing the movie as if it wasn't a Marvel movie, so therefore it's terrible, you know. And so that's what happened with Batman v Superman. But the average person, the general audience, using the time, the Speed Force to speak to Bruce, they didn't understand what was going on there. They didn't understand the dream segment. You know, certain things about the movie. Me, I totally got the movie, not in the first take, of course. I had to watch it about 3 or 4 times before I got it. Because just like them, I had, what the heck is this? But I really enjoyed the movie, the theatrical version, because of how circular it was. It wasn't a movie that was linear; it was circular. So there was a lot of flashbacks. There was a lot of I'll be dealing with this person here, and then I'm dealing with a different situation and a different person here. So they called it a mess, but it wasn't a mess. I mean, any sitcom you watch at General Hospital, you look at any sitcom, they deal with one situation, but then they go and deal with another situation, and so they're showing that these situations are simultaneously happening. And apparently, people can't process that when it's a movie and they're not telling me what they're doing next. Apparently, they need linear movies. Not to say that BBS Ultimate Edition was more linear, and so people and they had more information as well. But it was something that you could kind of fill in the blanks if you're just a normal moviegoer who understands to just follow a movie and see where it's going. Don't have any preconceived ideas. So anyway, um, my point being that BVS unfortunately didn't get that kind of love from Marvel fans because Marvel fans at the time, and I'm not talking about guys like Leroy Cohn, I'm talking about other Marvel fans. They started making memes about Martha, which never made sense to me. You know, I don't know what for them, what made that scene bad. They said that's the worst scene in any comic book movie, and I'm like, I don't understand what made it bad. To this day, I don't know what makes that scene bad. It's nothing. There's nothing wrong. Oh well, it's because their mothers have the same name. What? If their mothers didn't have the same name, but you say if their mothers have the same name, that's the point. So there's no if. And even if Superman's mom had a different name, that wasn't the point. The point is Superman's telling Batman, you're letting somebody kill somebody else. So I never got it. I never understood it. To me, the meme is the dumbest meme I've ever seen. And it kind of, I don't want to really disrespect. Leroy Comics says, I would get back to work. Great live. Restore the Snyderverse. Shout out to you, Leroy. We'll be talking a little bit more. I'll try and do some more streams. I'm taking my time. It's a slow burn. I never quite got honestly, people, I never understood why they would say, um, you know, well, their mothers had the same name. If their mothers didn't have the same name, then Batman would, would have killed Superman. No, he wouldn't. Because Superman keeps on saying something about a person dying because you let them die. He wasn't going to just let that off the hook. I don't care how zoned in he was. And of course, Martha, saying Martha, and he's saying, why you say that name? Obviously, the name triggered him into remembering why he became Batman, how he felt powerless and hopeless, and that really what he was doing was projecting his powerless and hopelessness onto Superman, right? That's all he was doing. He was projecting his insecurities onto Superman, which is why he had Superman in the same position he was in. But unlike Superman, who, even though he was powerless, he was never hopeless. See, Superman, oh my God, that scene. Superman embodied hope even at the point of death. me say that again. I want you guys to listen to me, because all of you people who hashtag restore the Snyderverse, you gotta have hope to the point of death. Let me say it again. Superman at the edge, his throat on the bottom of Batman's foot. Kryptonite spear cut through his flesh. They pierced his side. Jesus. I want you to understand what the imagery is. He's at the point of death. Oh my Lord. Jesus Christ was slain. But even in death, even though he believed his Father forsook him, he had hope. This is why we call him the blessed hope. He embodied hope. Powerful. What I just told you. One of the most hopeful scenes in Batman v Superman is the Martha scene. Mercy, God. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Be ye faithful unto death. I will give you a crown of life." Woo! Mercy. I'm processing it right now. Mercy. Superman's hope faded in that movie. But when it came back, it was unshakable. Unshakable. Death could not stop it. Oh my Lord. Mercy. That's a whole sermon in itself. Guys, we as Restore the Snyderverse fan have seen something die, and we have seen it resurrected. Death cannot hold us down. Death cannot hold down hope. Let me say it again. Mercy. Death cannot hold us down. Mercy, Lord. And as sure as day meets night, as sure as night gives birth unto day, Restore the Snyderverse will happen. We are getting a tutorial on what faith is and hope. I just spoke in true faith. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even believe I just said that. Wow. So, this is God, Lord Jesus. I can't believe I'm saying this. Even Batman and Batman v Superman lost hope. He lost hope, and he was about to kill hope. Oh my Lord. Embodied in Superman. Mercy. Oh my God. You know, if you never read the Bible, the virtues and attributes that this man named David Goyer, Zack Snyder, Chris Terrio, what they put in that movie, you might as well have read the Bible because it's the same thing. It's the same story. Uh, so yeah, Batman v Superman highlighted some of the dark sides of ourselves. It showed the world as it really is. Now these superheroes exist in this world. This is what they would be tested. I love the movie. I love Batman v Superman so much because it is a movie that can teach. It is very viscerally and otherwise so close to so close to reality. But yeah, it didn't get the love that Suicide Squad got, Wonder Woman got by Marvel fans, even Aquaman. But it taught us something. Justice League 2017 was not a liked film, either by Marvel nor DC fans, so much. Yeah, one or two, but it should have broken $1 billion if it was loved because Marvel fans were. My point, anyway, is the studio feels by bringing James Gunn on, they can attract more Marvel to DC. But they were already having that. That trajectory was already happening. And it culminated at Zack Snyder's Justice League. They got the momentum they needed because the amount of Marvel fans that watched that movie, and the reason this happened is because of this. It wasn't because it didn't just happen in a void. You know, these people, these detractors, they will tell you, "Oh, okay, this is what happened. HBO Max came on the scene, and so it was an opportunity for Zack Snyder's Justice League to be put on HBO Max. And since Zack Snyder's Justice League was something fans wanted for a long time, Warner Brothers graciously put Justice League on HBO Max." This is what it will tell you. That's not the truth. Truth is, for 5 years straight, the fans were constantly bombarding Warner Brothers, left, right, and center, about their need to see the true vision of the director. And the director on Vero started slowly coming on board, and he started giving little bits to keep the fandom going. Just like our David Ayer is doing. This is the Snyder Cut 2.0. Will the Ayer Cut come out? Absolutely. It, and a lot of people will look at me and say, "You're crazy, man. There's no evidence to show that." Hope is only seen in the absence of hope. Faith in the absence of faith. And they'll always tell you, "You're crazy." Are we doing anything evil? Are we doing anything wrong? So what is wrong with hoping for something that is good? Are we doing anything evil? Are we doing anything wrong by having faith that it will come to be? No. So, like my boy Leroy Cohn would say, he would say, "Am I doing anything illegal by liking Black Adam? Does it mean you exile me from the fandom of the Snyder Cut fandom?" No. You like what you like. Nothing wrong with that. If you like Black Adam, great. If you think it's the greatest thing ever, great. I'm never going to chastise a fan for liking what they like. I see fans attacking other fans concerning the Batman. They like what they like. If they hype it, now they may hype it and say, "Oh, the Batman was better than Batfleck's shitty Batman or whatever." Okay, now you kind of cross the line. I didn't disrespect your movie. Why are you disrespecting what I like? You can like what you like, and you don't have to disrespect me and what I like. Right? We're fans. We like what we like. You have your taste in movies. I have my taste in movies. Okay. I can say, I think the Batman warehouse scene is the best Batman action flick ever. And somebody else with the Batman will say, "Well, this scene in the Batman to me was the best action scene ever." All right. We're fans. Nothing wrong. ultimately, in the end, we have to understand as fans, we are the ones with the power. Yes, we work in cooperation with studios and what they want to put out and so on. But we have to, we're the ones who have the money. They don't have the money. They can't make money without us. They can't do their transactions with other companies and so on. And the sponsors who leave back their money and the investors, they can't do it. In fact, the investors even the investors in Warner Brothers, most of them are fans. Most of them are you and me. So it always comes back to us. Now these guys are stewards. They're the ones who you're gonna have to excuse me for a minute. They're the ones that, they sort of kind of create the agenda, how we're gonna go down with entertainment and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But what these people still do not understand, and they're still operating in a sort of a backward, antiquated way, is there's a to and fro dialogue between the fans and the studio. This is the era of social media, which means every single person's opinion counts. That's just the way how this world works now. There is a dialogue. You have to have a dialogue. Studios have to learn to have a dialogue. So the way how you conducted yourself, say, 20 years ago, it doesn't work today. And this is what these executives do not understand in Warner Brothers. They're still backward. The fans are raging on everything. Okay, you have all kinds of fans. You have rabid fans. You have all kinds of fans. But guess what? Guess what? Those are your customers. You have to be careful how you speak to them. All right? Hold on one second. Let me go use the bathroom. Come back. But just project this to the screen. Okay. So when we uh when we when we when we villainize fans, a studio villainizes fans, which is, and antagonizes fans. They're looking for themselves to go out of it. You're trying to cross a line that you shouldn't. See, this is social media. Social media is a totally different, totally different business to what these guys are used to. They used to a lot of power. They used to, fans begging them for years, 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 right? They all right. So that's not happening because as a fandom, the fans now, they can beat down the door of the studio. They could be putting out whatever, they advertising anything on social media, and the fans typically respond. This is what makes fans dangerous. they, they can take down the studio in months. They can have a studio shut down because fans can be stupid. They're talking about Snyder Cut fans. Go watch Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans will play. Okay, they'll go in on it. If they don't like what is happening, they'll just start spamming the hell out of everything. You won't be able to make a turn without seeing them. Endless, right? They'll boycott shit. They'll stop buying things listen to fans. It's about literally not trying to give them a patronizing service. And Warner Bros. Is way behind the curve with that. Netflix is Netflix is on a roll. Netflix is killing it. Okay, even all these small things like Amazon Prime and some Hulu and all these guys, they're starting to kill it. They're closing ground really rapidly, and Warner Brothers is so far behind when it comes to that. You know, and I don't know how long the company will survive the way how they're going, because you're not listening. And in this age, you better listen and you better take notes and you better fall in line, because it's not about, because the fans have so much now that they can look at, so much material they can go and check out, that you're not you used to be, once upon a time Warner Bros. Used to be the marquee name with quality and stuff. You're not anymore. Okay, because fans they're not interested in your content. The thing that used to drive fans, you used to make the most amount of money. But Warner Bros. Needs to understand. I just want to turn up the volume a little bit. Warner Bros. Needs to understand that. Listen, man. You know, fans are not going to patronize you if you keep on not listening to them, because you're not listening to them, and you're going in the opposite direction to what they want. And again, let me say this: I am not telling these executives or these people in Warner Brothers, you must do the Snyderverse and destroy all the other universes you got out there. Nobody's saying that. People just saying, give us the sequels to Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Let us know now. Don't let us know, try to do it as a surprise and all that bullshit and trying to keep it quiet. Tell us now. That's greenlit. What they did with Henry Cavill, what they did with Ben Affleck, was helping the situation, but everybody was wary of them. And then now I'm hearing Henry Cavill probably won't be back or something like that because of Superman. Probably they think he doesn't work or whatever. But to be honest with you, it works with Zack Snyder. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a hit, so it worked with Zack Snyder. So again, it's clear to me that they don't want to bring back Zack Snyder. They don't want to bring back Amy Adams. It's kind of clear to me now. Okay, but here's the thing:
All right, sorry about that, people. My battery died off, so I'm back. Um, yeah, my now the phone is still booting up, so once it finishes booting up, it will stop being so jerky. But hopefully you guys can hear me here. See what these so they're thinking that they're going to get Marvel fans to come across with the DC Marvel crossover, but the interest in DC was happening because of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was actually bringing interest to DC, and as I said before, it peaked with Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, a movie in which the execs really tried hard to fail. They really wanted it to fail, which is sad. You want to put out something, but you want it to fail. And basically, the same thing's going on with Black Adam. So their argument for the studio is, well, we try to go the direction of Zack Snyder. We talked about Ben Affleck coming back, Henry Cavill coming back, doubling down all of that, and look what happened. This is their argument, which is not true because Black Adam didn't have anything to do with Zack Snyder. It was Henry Cavill coming back into Black Adam, and The Rock really trying to negotiate to get Henry Cavill back in there. And Henry Cavill's still in the mix. Don't worry about it. No matter what they do, I don't care what James Gunn does. I don't care what David Zaslav does, because they're kind of irrelevant. What I mean by that is, if they're not making movies that make a profit or turn any kind of profit, it really doesn't matter. They're not going to last very long. You see. So it took us 5 years to get the Snyder Cut. It's going to take us less time to get those other two movies out. And we're a year and something into asking for Restore the Snyderverse. It's a bigger campaign than the previous one, Restore the Snyderverse, because we actually have the general audience and we have celebrities and all these people who want this to happen. They're not necessarily as vocal every day as we are in the movement, but that does not mean they're not supportive and they don't believe in that. I think they're just waiting for something substantive to be able to rally behind it. But I'm sure a lot of people in the Snyder fandom are following what is happening, and they really are in agreement with what we're doing. Some of us approach it differently. Some of us approach it in a very confrontational way. Some of us, again, approach it in a much more respectful way. And some of us just don't care. They just approach it, and that's it. So, but whatever the angle of approach, we've all been here before. This is not the first time that the studio had plans which were away from what Zack Snyder's. We flat out, they told us that Snyder Cut didn't exist. It would never come to fruition. They flat out directly told us that. So this isn't new. The fact that they're trying to parry the narrative, and then they're trying to also reboot again, soft reboot. They tried. They soft rebooted a number of times now, right? They soft rebooted with Justice League 2017. That didn't work. Then they tried to soft reboot again with Black Adam, right? They tried to soft reboot with Black Adam. That didn't work. Now they're going to try again with James Gunn. They're going to try with James Gunn to soft reboot again, and it's not going to work. And the only reason it's not going to work, the sole reason, is because they're not listening to us. Okay, I don't know why they think they're so smart, but they're not listening to us. And all they have to do is say tomorrow, Zack Snyder's working on Justice League 2 and 3. Just like what they do with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. Ray Fisher's coming back. Ray Porter's coming back. Wayne T. Carr is going to have Green Lantern. That's all they got to do. And it sounds simple, but for them it's very complicated because Hollywood, Porter, the investors, all these people. And that's what they have to do. Make the announcement. And so much goodwill will come to their movies. And that's what they don't understand. They just don't understand that. Black Adam should have been tied to the Snyderverse. It should have been. That hurt. And they lost a lot of money at the box office. That movie was supposed to make upwards of $600 million. Okay, that movie should have made that. Okay, because you take in consideration all of the Snyder fandom supporting that movie. It wouldn't have had the Chinese release. And that movie would have made at least $300 million more than it will make. So you're talking about somewhere in the 700 million, 800 million bracket. But I say at minimum 600 million, you know, without China. So that movie should have made money. It's not going to make anything significant, if it does make anything at all. They're saying that, you know, the studio cut costs by having sponsors and stuff, but what sponsors will want their payback. They won't want something out of this. They want to sponsor you the next time. So, I mean, you know, this movie didn't even make money so far. You know, and what I'm trying to say is the direction they're going in is wrong. And I think they've heard this over and over, but I guess they're surrounded by people in Hollywood who tell them this is the right direction to go. And it's not. It's going to lead to the demise of Warner Brothers Discovery ownership of DC. DC's going to have to be sold off again. And we don't care. We don't mind because we want what we want. And as fans, we're having a good old time doing this on this journey, you know. So what I'm saying is Zack Snyder did a lot for DC. He really made the brand something and something different, separate from what Marvel was doing. And for the life of these executives, they cannot see past their ass. They can't see that being a Marvel imitation is not going to help the DC brand. And being just a generic brand is not going to help the DC brand. You have to bring something to the table. So taking a Marvel director and making him head of DC was the stupidest thing they could have ever done. You know, you got these properties, these great properties. You want to introduce so-called obscure characters and make them great. So you're going to get a Marvel director who has no success at doing DC movies. He does a DC movie, it flops. Just imagine Patty Jenkins flopping Wonder Woman. We'd never have had any more Wonder Woman sequels, right? She did flop Wonder Woman, the second one. And they're still hiring her. So the logic behind what they're doing is asinine and just crazy. And a lot of people are scratching their heads, including the general audience. I'm surprised the shareholders aren't scratching. I'm sure the shareholders are also scratching their heads like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Sorry about the F-bomb. What is wrong with these stupid people? Right? Everybody's scratching their heads because what they're doing is just sheer suicide. It's sheer suicide. It's like you just said, all the marketed data, all the data that's, about market forces, customer base. These people just threw that up in the air, and now they're throwing things, like they say, they're just throwing things at a board and seeing what sticks. These people have no idea what the hell they're doing. And so they don't understand their customers. They don't know they know what they want. Let me tell you what is up with these people. These execs want a certain thing. That's what it is. They want a certain thing. There are one or two fans out there, DC fans, that buy into it. But for the most part, most DC fans don't want what these execs want. So there's a conflict between what the execs want and what the DC fans want. And this is happening also in Marvel now, where there's an agenda and somebody's trying to push an agenda, an SWJ agenda. And you can see it also in DC, where they're trying to push a whole female agenda, with just females everywhere in the comic book arena. They're trying to push an agenda, which is stupid, because the fans are going to push back on that. And you're going to lose money It's going to hurt you. Stop pushing fucking agendas. Sorry about the F-bomb again. Stop pushing agendas. Stop it. Listen to your fan base. This is social media time. This is not a time to try and go back to the old days. You're going to get destroyed. And the fans are not even going to watch Marvel or DC. They're going to watch something else. They have The Boys now. They had some other superhero movies with new superheroes from other superhero comics. They're just going to say, screw you, screw your studio. We're going to watch something else. That's all they're going to do. So, I don't know. They're playing a game of Russian roulette. They're on a suicide mission, and it looks like they want to destroy themselves and their studio, which is not a problem for me once I get what I want. Right? All right. So, let me just read this here. The devil took him up to reveal all kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. The devil told him, I will give you the glory of these kingdoms and authority, because they are mine to give to anyone I please. I'll give it to you if you will bow down and worship me. And Jesus said to him, you must worship the Lord your God and serve him only. See, these people who are given the responsibility of culturing and shaping entertainment need to understand they are not lords. They are not all powerful. The lords are the people who will buy their entertainment. You are someone to provide a service. I heard James Gunn say, "Oh, me and Peter Safran, we got you. You can't. We can't wait to show you what we got so that you can enjoy it." Okay, you may be excited, but does that excitement convey over to the fans? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. I was watching. An actor's job is not to feel what the audience is feeling. He's to convey that feeling to the audience. Similarly with these executives, they don't understand. Your job is not to do what you would love to see. Your job is to make sure that the fan base, what they want, is received by them. Your favorite Superman may be Christopher Reeve Superman, but is that what the audience wants? Is that what your customers want? You can have your favorites, but separate that from the business. Separate that from what the fans want. So I remember when Prime was talking about how, in video games and stuff, video gamers wanted this particular video game and they couldn't get it, and the video game company keeps on putting out video games and they keep buying it. Well, this is not like that anymore, buddy. It's not like that anymore. The world has changed. People will just not buy your shit. They'll say fuck you and they'll just move on to something else because people don't have time for shit. Most of the Snyder Cut fans, most of the Snyderverse fans don't have time to do videos like I'm doing. If you're putting out a lump of shit, they just won't watch it. Period. It's fans like me that actually care about something, that actually do a stream on it, to break it down to these stupid ass execs who are so stupid they can't understand. I'm sorry, but I'm cursing them out, but they're so stupid they can't see that butt from their head. They think they're so smart. You're stupid. And you're doing a lump of shit. That's why nobody wants to see his stuff. And it's going to amount to nothing. I'm sorry, but this is just the way how it goes. I'm very honest about what I'm saying. It's strange how they wish and pray for the downfall of the Snyderverse. But what do they have to replace it? Nothing that excites the audience, that excites people, that people want to come and see. The movies they dismissed, Todd Phillips' Joker, killed it in the box office because they have a dissonance. They have a mental dissonance to what really works with the audience and what doesn't. This is why they're persisting along this line, because for them, it's the greatest thing they could ever do. They're making movies for execs. They're not making movies for the fans, for the audience. They're making movies they would like to see. And that's the complete disconnect right there. Never again will you have another Aquaman movie making $1 billion like that. No. Not if it's going down the same line that the Aquaman, you're going to see it flop. All these movies in 2023 are flops waiting to happen. And 2024, if Gunn and Safran have their way, you're going to have a set of flops. And you might do a DC Marvel crossover and it will flop. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I can't break it down no easier way. It's going to flop. And y'all going to spin it, and y'all going to try and do the industry, and you're going to try and excite Marvel and DC fans, and they ain't going to come. I'm trying to tell you what it is. How much more plainer can I speak? Because you don't understand fandoms. You want to have a Marvel DC crossover. You want it to be a mega event. You want it to be something. You got to build up to it, first of all. Second of all, and most importantly, you have to handle in-house business. And in this age of social media, DC's in-house is shit right now. There's a total disconnect between the executives and the fans. Just like how there was a total disconnect between critics and the audience of Zack Snyder's films. To this day, you go on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't really care about Rotten Tomatoes, but nonetheless, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, you will see that the audience considers Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman and Man of Steel as fresh, meaning a lot of fans like the movie. However, when it comes to critical assessment of these two movies, the critics hated it. It's a disassociation between the critics and the fans. You know why? Because the critics were bought. They were bought. And when we say bought, we mean figuratively. They bought into the Marvel brand of things. They thought that movies must look like this because they're all into formulas. They're not open-minded. If this was any other movie, if this was some other genre of movie, all of a sudden their minds open, unlocks, and like, yeah, I could get that. But you say superhero genre, Marvel is what comes up to mind. And that's it. And they're closed-minded to anything else looking any other way than Marvel. They've grown to now, even now, multiple Academy Award winning Joker is critically panned by these dumbass critics. How could the Academy be awarding awards, but yet the critics can't understand what kind of quality movie they're watching? Because they're Marvelized. So, the point I'm making is, you can have your agendas, you can be bought, all of that, but the truth still comes to light. And the truth of the situation is, the road in which Warner Brothers is going to fail. I hate saying it, because I would hope that some other outcome could happen. It's not going to happen. You're doing a model that's already out there. Why would somebody come see something that's an imitation of something else? Why would people come to see jokes when there's another place you can go and get jokes? You're not catering to your fan base. You're catering to another fan base. You're trying to get when you have one. You also have a director that appeals to that fan base, and he had a sort of plan, and the movies were coming along that line. Not to say that the director is the be all and end all, but the tone and the type of direction that these movies were doing was something that actually appealed to some people. You tried it so many times. How could you be such a fucking asshole? You tried it with Superman Returns. You tried it with Superman 2. You tried it with Superman 3. You tried it with Superman 4. You tried it with Batman and Robin. You tried it with Catwoman. It failed. Green Lantern, it failed. You tried it with Justice League 2017. It failed. You tried it with Birds of Prey. It failed. You tried it with Wonder Woman 84. It failed. You tried it with the Suicide Squad. It failed. You tried it with Black Adam. It failed. It doesn't work. What part of that do you not understand? You double down on James Gunn. And he's going to fail just like all this other stuff that failed. You're not going to get Marvel fans to come to see something that is not something they're interested in because they already have it with Marvel. Marvel fans are going to come to DC because they like the different take that DC brings, something different. It's not just Marvel. You just go up on fucking YouTube. How can you be so stupid? Go up on YouTube and type in Marvel fan watching Man of Steel or Marvel fan watching Batman v Superman, whatever. You'll see the Marvel fans starting to explore DC movies and enjoy them. Because they see something different. It's different. They don't want the same, you dumbass. Their argument is, well, The Rock has a following. James Gunn has a following. He has loyal fans that will support him. Why did they not support him for the Suicide Squad then? Dummy. How can you be so stupid? How could you be so stupid? How? So, David Zaslav is going down a line that's clearly going to fail, and Discovery's going to have to sell off or get the hell out of there. AT&T's going to have to give it up, and hopefully, who knows, who may buy out the DC brand. Praying to God it's Netflix. Then we know we're going to get what we want. Till then, burn, baby, burn. Because that's what's going to happen. We're not bowing down to you executives. You guys are klutzes and you are clowns. You're clowns. I'm saying it to your face. I have no respect for you guys. You're clowns. And we still will get the Snyderverse. After all of this, we're still going to get the Snyderverse. We're still going to see Zack Snyder Justice League in the cinemas. It'll take a little longer. We don't care. Because one thing about fans is this. We'll be here. We'll be fans. We'll be here. But your job and your pay grade is dependent on us. Not the other way around. So you go on your high horse and you behave like an idiot, like the last regime. But just know this. You will be replaced if you continue that foolishness. Already a shareholder is suing WBD. Oh, but it's going to get even better. Sooner than later. I used to be a person who was trying to defend Warner Brothers studio. I'm not defending them. They're selfish, egotistical clowns. Clowns. We got the Snyderverse. We got the Snyder Cut happening. It was us, the fans. Zack Snyder pushed us on, amongst other people. Now he's at Netflix, which is cool. But do understand, and his Rebel Moon is coming out. We were definitely going to see that. Unlike other people and fan bases, our fan base is not weak. We stand on what we say and we go down to the end with it. That's the difference. That's why we got what we got. Situation shaped up for us to get it a certain way, but we got what we got. And that movie is going to see theaters. The Snyder Cut's going to see theaters. And it's going to perform. And I don't care what that studio says, because I really don't care about it anymore. I don't care what Warner Brothers says. We want the Snyderverse. And the more they double down, is the more we will double down. We're not backing down. We understand this is a war, and you chose to make us your enemy. So be it. But we have fun as fans, and I enjoy actually going on this journey with fans and having fun. Some fans, they're very complainy, they're very negative, and that's whatever. You find all kinds of fans. I've been in boxing. Boxing fans are very negative as well. But ultimately, in the end, it's about being positive, about doing something good. And so I hope that the fans will, certain fans at least, will shape up and realize, hey, man, let's be more positive about things and so on. With respect to how this is possible, how Restore the Snyderverse is still possible in this time. So besides the faith element and besides the hope element is the strategic element. The strategic element being that the more we keep on pressing with the hashtags all over social media, it's just the more people are going to know about it. It's always about awareness and about as many people as possible globally knowing what it is we're pressing towards constantly. And just not taking your foot off the gas. So this, for example, this video stream here, I hope that many other small channels, I saw a lot of small channels come up, and you guys did a great job. But now you guys need to constantly show Zack Snyder's Justice League to the world. Talk about it. Just keep on going about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and also about the need for the continuation of that. Just like with the Alita team, we haven't forgot you, Alita Army. We need to keep on stressing that the Alita Army movie needs to come out. And Disney is going to have to listen to us, because we could shut some shit down if necessary. Not in a big way, because the Elite Army is not as huge as the Snyderverse Army, but it is quite sizable, right? The difference between the reason why we get so much done is because there's so many of us, and we were able to break into mainstream. So mainstream knows who we are. They know what our cause is, but now we have to even cement it even more and make it something so that mainstream really, really, really knows what Gunn and Warner Brothers is going to try to do. They are a multi-billion dollar company, is they're going to try and blur that narrative. Try not to make the message as clear as it is. But we need to make sure that message is very clear and very strong. And it's clear that these executives in this company do not want the Snyderverse to be restored. And so we're going to double down, and we're going to bombard them with the fact that the Snyderverse needs to be restored. Now, I know within the fandom, there's a little bit of breaking up. People are not really fully on the same page with everything. I know Zack Snyder kind of did a, like a sort of farewell, noting the date of Adam's death and stuff like that. I have not forgotten David Ayer. David Ayer is a lovely director as well, and we need to press for the Ayer cut. We're gonna just keep on doing events, but not just Twitter events. We need to also have art events. You know, Zach was trying to get Rebel Moon stuff and for competitions and stuff, but we need to really kind of organize ourselves a little bit more. We're a very established group of people now. This is not no if, buts, or maybe. It's a huge. There's a lot of Snyder fans, and on top of that, we have a lot of fans now from DC and Marvel, and outside of the comic book universe, we have fans. So to coordinate all of that, remember, not all the fans are going to be talking, right? In fact, a substantial part of the fandom is not talking at all. But you'll see that fandom's presence. You will see the volume of them when it comes to getting into cinemas. And once that thing is announced that the Snyder Cut is going into cinemas, you will see just how big the fandom is, because the people who are going in to see those movies will be because of Zack Snyder. And what Warner Bros. Tried to duplicate was, oh, well, James Gunn has a fandom, and so now The Rock has a fandom, so we're going to use them. They try to manufacture the effect that Zack Snyder has on fans. And you will never see any fan just sitting down here talking about a director like this. You won't see it nowhere in Hollywood will that ever happen. And that's because Zack Snyder is that director. He's a hot name in cinema. Okay, you don't even get the Russo brothers getting that kind of love. So that is why Snyder fans and Snyderverse and all of that is so big. And I'm talking about, let me tell you how many you got Snyder fans who are directors. Directors are huge fans of Zack Snyder. Okay, you got people in the industry who are big Snyder fans, just tremendous Snyder fans. So when we talk about Snyder fandom, it's within the industry as well as outside the industry. That's the kind of craziness that's going on. So these people are hell bent on not having the hottest name in Hollywood, or one of them, direct their movies. It's just pure stupidity. It's pure stupidity. There's no other way to call it than these people have egos. They're like, oh, well, our company name has been dragged down by Zack Snyder. We get bad rep with Zack Snyder, so we don't want Zack Snyder. And they try to give reasons, which is really lame and stupid. Like, well, you didn't really have much success in movies. Y'all over-exaggerating. You got better success than what you currently have. Okay? So, whether Warner Bros. Has the money, and they do have the money, don't let them fool you, to bring back Zack Snyder or not, they're going to behave how they're behaving. They dug their foot in the sand and said, this is our position. This is what we're taking. And we'll go down with that. And you're going to go down with it. Trust me. Because we'll be here, and we'll be still asking for what we're asking. You guys will be out of a job. I'm going to catch you guys later. I am Disciple, a.k.a. Answer Philip. Sorry about the F-bombs somewhere inside of there. I didn't mean it like that, but I'm just saying the stupidity is immense with this company. And, to be honest with you, if it was up to me and I was somehow a shareholder, I would make sure all those motherfuckers are fired. The people who need to get cleared out and rebooted is the execs. They need to be fired, all of them. And then you need to bring in a fresh slate of execs, fire all of them. That's what you need to do. You don't need to fire Zack Snyder. You don't need to remove. You need to fire those people whose vision is just messed up. And it's just soup of nonsense that's going on down there. Now, that's what needs to happen. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.